Go ahead.
Hey, Ron, I'm curious on one thing. A lot of times in the past, when you've had some of these games where a lot of pass heavy and not getting enough points or whatever, and you always go back to saying, we need to get back to what your identity is or what you want the identity to be as a run team. Do you feel like that now? Do you feel like you're okay with how things have been called or going in that way?
I've been fine with what we've tried to do offensively. As far as I'm concerned, and look at some of the biggest things. Again, it really is about the development of this young quarterback. There's been a lot of positives that you see coming out of some of the things that Sam has been doing, and as far as that's concerned, like you see his decision making has been really good in terms of where he's who he's throwing the ball to. Some things he can clean up is the type of throws that he's making. Whether he's trying to loft the ball or he needs to put the ball on the line a little bit. We saw a little bit of that yesterday, but he's been really good at it, and just really appreciate his development and growth. I think that's one of the big important things for us.
And then there was a lot of talk, even Terry had talked about he wished you guys had gotten some things earlier in the game yesterday. After going back and watching the tape, do you feel there was a chance to adjust a little bit sooner, or were you okay with that?
Well, I think, again, if you go back and look at some of those the series as they unfolded, I think some of the things were just some of the missed opportunities, some of the things, some of the mistakes that we had individually that could have been that could have helped us. It really could have, miss a block or unfortunately, miss a throw or catch opportunity. Those things are pretty disruptive, and they really weren't necessarily something used to saying that, we got to make an adjustment for that. Now, some of the protection things, those were things that we were working through that I thought our guys handled, especially when we came in at halftime, did the things that we needed to do, and then got back out there and gave ourselves a chance to win.
Ron, after the game, some of the players were obviously visibly frustrated, said some things. I'm sure you heard some of the comments from Jonathan Allen. What do you gauge from those comments, and do you like seeing that from your players? Is that a concern? How do you kind of view what was said after the game?
Yeah, there was one player that made a comment that I'm aware of, and he's disappointed, as is everybody else, and I can't dispute it just because he's a very passionate football player that wants to win. I get it. We all want to win. We're all passionate about this game. We want to win, and that's the bottom line. And frustration sometimes gets the best of us, and we've got to be able to handle that as well. Trust me, I get frustrated when I get up in front of you guys and I listen to some of the questions, and I want to be able to say some of the things that I really wish I could, but I can't. And that's what Jonathan felt. So, I can understand that and I can appreciate that. So, got nothing but respect for how hard the young man plays and what the young man is trying to do, and that's win football games.
And kind of along those lines, with the frustration theme, fans are frustrated as well, and
Yep.
Some today are kind of questioning the vision and the plan of this team over these last 4 years with this loss from the Giants. I guess my question is, do you understand that perspective from the fans? And secondly, what makes you believe things will go differently over these next couple of months compared to some of the results you've had the last 4 years?
Well, I think the biggest thing, Scott, more than anything else, I think we have found a young quarterback that gives us an opportunity. We were in that game yesterday who had every chance to win, and unfortunately we didn't do it. And I understand our fans' frustration. Hell, I hear it too. Okay, and I respect them. We're trying to play the best football we can and at the same time grow a football team. We're not going to go around cutting a bunch of people, trading for a whole bunch of people, trying to hire a whole bunch of people. We're trying to develop a young football team to be a very good football team for the future, and that's what we're going to continue to work on. We're going to continue to find ways to win football games, and we'll do the best we can. We'll show up, we'll work very hard, we'll do everything we can, and we'll continue to be committed to try and put a good product on the football field and give our fans something to cheer about. But we understand their frustration, believe me, because there's a lot of us that are frustrated here because we're working our butts off.
Thank you.
And kind of similar to that, after 7 games, 3-4, just like you were last year, does being at this point right now feel different than it did last year after 7 games?
It does, because again, with the young quarterback, Sam, I really think there's hope. There's an opportunity. I mean, the young man has given us opportunities to win some of these games that a lot of people I know felt we couldn't. But at the same time, we've been in a lot of games. We were in the Philadelphia game. We were in yesterday's game at the end. We had a chance to win. We did. And who knows? A couple things go our way in those two games, and we got a completely different conversation going. But that's not that's the truth of the matter. That's not where we are right now, and I get that. But as long as we have that young quarterback, and he's growing and developing, and we as a team play consistent complementary football, we have a chance. We just have to be accountable for what's happened right now and step up, develop, grow, and recognize our mistakes and correct those things. And that's on me. It starts with me, and I get that. Believe me, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'll continue to do it as best as I can.
So do you see, your growth, the team's growth, totally up to Sam, or are there other adjustments or tweaks or changes that you can make, and what, if anything, are those things?
Absolutely. There's a bunch of things that need to go right for things to be even better, and a lot of them have gone right. There's a lot of things that are in place, but there's a few other things that have to come into place, and those are things that we're working on and we're going to correct and we're going to work on and get better at. But to come together and be a good football team, you've got to have a lot of things go right, and we've had several of them step into place, but we're not there yet, and we're going to continue to work, and hopefully we will get there very soon.
Ron, along the lines of what you're saying about Sam, the importance of him and how that's a big focus, obviously, does that mean you're committed to playing him, starting him the rest of the season, barring the unforeseen?
Well, I will tell you this. I'm committed to him, and we'll see how things go, Ben. But, I can't predict the future, and the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to focus in on one game at a time, because the truth of the matter is that's the only thing that matters right now, and that's getting ready for Philadelphia. Once I get done with this conversation with all you guys, it'll be on to Philadelphia.
So, and also to that end, with Sam being a young, developing quarterback and kind of where you guys are in the season, obviously the trade deadline's coming up. Does what happened yesterday, or is the fact that you're leaning into Sam, change how you view the next 10 days or so?
No, it doesn't. The only thing I'm focused in on is getting ready for Philadelphia.
Ron, you've said in the past how important it was to kind of build the team around the quarterback position so you could kind of plug him in there. Do you feel like he has the support he needs up front from the line right now, or are there adjustments that need to be made?
Well, I think that's a work in progress, and those are things that we are working to correct, and we'll continue to do that. Again, being able to plug and play is we changed the system. We went from one style of offense to another style, and there's growing pains. There really are. Trust me. And it's one of the things that I went back and looked at, and that was what first-year starters had to deal with as quarterbacks, and it's interesting, and that's something that if you go back and you look at what history tells you, it does tell you things gets better.
Three more.
And when you went back and watched the film of the line, what kind of changed in the second half? Where did you see them executing better or differently in the second half?
Well, one of the things that you saw really was some really good communications that was going on in the second half. I think as you go through and the game progresses, you start to understand and feel even more so, what they're trying to do. Always trying to game plan and get yourself ready for each week it takes a little bit, but as it's interesting because there were a couple of things that you wish would have happened early in those first few drives, because it would have changed some things, and unfortunately it didn't happen.
Ron, it's kind of natural sometimes for fans, media, to kind of focus on the doom and gloom, but
yep.
You kind of fast forward, and if you get a win on Sunday against Philadelphia, I mean, it kind of changes things and you're back in the mix. Is that kind of the messaging and to kind of lift up the locker room that you're going to give this week?
Without a doubt, Scott. This is all about what can happen on Sunday than it is about what can happen any other time. We can't do anything about the past. We got to focus on what's coming right now, and not what's coming next week. So again, this week is an opportunity for us to get on track. We got to get ourselves prepared and ready to play a very good Philadelphia team.
Last one.
Ron, any injury updates on Cody Barton, Sadiq, or anybody else?
Well, I do know that Cody and Sadiq both went to get MRIs. I'll get more of an update from Al after this conversation. But I do know that they think Cody has a high ankle sprain, and they do think that Sadiq strained the calf muscle that he had in training camp. So we'll see again once we get those results.
How about Iran?
Nothing was reported as far as that was concerned.
Thank you, Coach.
Alrighty, thank you guys.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.